ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತು ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ 370 ರದ್ದು ವಿಚಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ನ ಪಂಚಪೀಠಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು 3 ಆದೇಶಗಳು ಹೊರಬಿದ್ವು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತು ಇವತ್ತು, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಆದೇಶಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತು ಇವತ್ತು ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್, ಬನ್ನಿ ನೋಡೋಣ.
But the President seeking the concurrence of the Union government instead of the government of the state to issue CO 272 is not invalid because, first, the effect of applying all the provisions of the Constitution to the state of Jammu and Kashmir through the exercise of power under Article 370(1)(d) is the same as an exercise of power under Article 370, Clause 3, notifying that Article 370 shall cease to exist. That is, all provisions of the Constitution of India will apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, except for the fact that the former can be reversed while the latter, namely under Clause 3, cannot. Second, consultation and collaboration between both the units will only be necessary where the application of the provisions of the Indian Constitution to the state would require amendments to the state constitution, because the purpose of the requirements of consultation and collaboration is for the smooth functioning of governance in the state and to ensure that the provisions of the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir are not inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution of India. Power under Article 370(1)(d) to apply all provisions of the Constitution to the state, the President securing the concurrence of the Union of India on behalf of the state government is not mala fide. The next issue is the challenge to CO 272 on the ground that it is ultra vires Article 370(1)(d) because it modifies Article 370. We have held that the modification by CO 272 to Article 367 as it applies to Jammu and Kashmir had the effect of amending Article 370 and is thus ultra vires Article 370(1)(d). We have reached this conclusion for the following reasons. First, recourse must be had to the procedure contemplated by Article 370, Clause 3, if Article 370 is to cease to operate or is to be amended or modified in its application to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. No other procedure may be utilized to amend Article 370. Second, the rule of interpretation that a power under a statute must be exercised in accordance with the provisions of that statute and in no other manner is undoubtedly applicable to the Constitution. The Constitution of India is a complete code for constitutional governance. Following the application of the Constitution of India in its entirety to the state of Jammu and Kashmir by CO 273, the Constitution of the state of Jammu and Kashmir is inoperative and is declared to have become redundant. L. The views of the legislature of the state under the first proviso to Article 3 are recommendatory. Thus, Parliament's exercise of power under the first proviso to Article 3 under the proclamation was valid and not mala fide. M. The Solicitor General stated that the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir will be restored except for the carving out of the Union Territory of Ladakh. In view of the statement, we do not find it necessary to determine whether the reorganization of the state of Jammu and Kashmir into 2 Union Territories of Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir is permissible under Article 3. However, we uphold the validity of the decision to carve out the Union Territory of Ladakh in view of Article 3A, read with Explanation 1, which permits forming a Union Territory by separation of a territory from any state. And we direct that steps shall be taken by the Election Commission of India to conduct elections to the Legislative Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, constituted under Section 14 of the Reorganization Act by 30 September 2024. Restoration of statehood shall take place at the earliest and as soon as possible.